Hello again, guys. It's Gregola Productions back again here with another episode of the GPWS. Today we'll be working on two Westclox Spurs, but these ones are different from our usual suspects in terms of 66s. The last Westclox Spur I worked on camera was a brass one from 1954, and I had some methods in there which it was mainly, resetting the alarm tension. The methods I used for that weren't great. I've since come up with something better, so I'm going to demonstrate that here. But also, these versions of these clocks are not talked about enough, I don't think. The aluminum versions of the 66 movement, they can be kind of finicky to get running, but once you do, you'd have really fantastic designs. You may love that or hate that. That one has not been, so we're going to be focusing mainly on this one. This one needs its balance wheel polished. This one I've already been inside, and it's ticking now, but it does not run or it does not fully unwind like it should. So we'll be focusing on this one over here. We're gonna polish that. We're gonna polish both of their balance wheels. Just that this seems to be a standard procedure now these days with these aluminum 66s, because they just don't seem terribly motivated to run a lot of the time. They are cheaper than their older counterparts, but they look, the designs they have though are just really nice, late 50s, early 60s looking designs. Some are mid-century, some aren't, but they look cool either way. So it's a challenge, right? So let's see how many, what we can fix and how. So, without further ado, we're going to focus on this guy here, and then we'll kind of catch up with this one later since it's already been serviced and, again, just needs its balance staff pivots polished. So, all right, let's dive into this one. We've unscrewed the keys. They just unscrew backwards. You can see the direction you're supposed to turn them in. You just turn them the other way. Take all the screws off from around the case, and now we're ready to pull this thing apart properly. But I don't know if you can tell, I'm actually wearing a dust mask right now. These are both radium clocks, which means, hazardous material on those hands and on that dial. So I don't want to get cancer. I'm doing this in my garage. Again, I'm going to be wearing those gloves. I'm going to do the same thing with that one over there. That's, they're not all like this, but when they've got that green paint on there, you can kind of use that as an indicator. So, yeah, we're going to do this with a special set of screwdrivers that I have. We've got a nice piece of cardboard with a slot cut in it to protect the dial. If you want to see how that process works, I've shown it off in my other videos, removing hands from luminous clocks. But for now, we're just going to get right into that movement there. There's the hairspring and balance wheel, pallet fork, escape wheel. I'll take the bell off here shortly. What is that? The third wheel, I think, in there. Then second wheel, and then the center wheel. Alarm setting mechanism. This is kind of we're going to have to get that all apart. Yeah, there's the knob on the front. All this fun jazz. And the mainspring is wound up completely. This thing is totally seized up and will not run. That is fine by me. We have ways of dealing with that. Okay, so first things first, our bell's going to come off. Just loosen those screws. We don't even have to take them off. And there's that. Gonzo. Again, if you have an earlier Westclox Spur, I did another video series on one of these. So there's the other gears. So again, pallet fork, escape wheel, third wheel, second wheel, and first wheel. And then there's our alarm stuff here, our alarm mainspring, the escape wheel for that, and the alarm hammer. These movements are interesting because there's two different escapements going on here. There's one for the actual clock itself, the timekeeping escapement, which is over there somewhere. Oh, it's trying to run too. There's that. Timekeeping escapement, and then the alarm escapement. It really works the same way. Just something, you know, a piece of metal or of some kind gets moved up and down, or from side to side, sorry. Okay, let's get our hairspring and balance wheel out of here. So we're going to take our pin. Camera's got to be in focus first. There we go. Yeah, so there's a greater look at everything. I'm still learning how to use the focus on this new phone camera, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, we're going to try and pop that out of there. I've got a pair of pliers on the mainspring there, and I'm just kind of going at it from the underside. Kind of jimmying that out of there. The last thing you want to do is, of course, grab the actual spring itself, and thankfully we're not doing that. There we go. And we don't want to bend the spring or anything like that. We're going to just gently push it down through here. Yeah, these things have a very these things have certain bends in them. I mean, if you do bend the hairspring, you can fix it using tweezers and all that. And there's hairspring bending videos on YouTube, but you don't want to bend a hairspring. That's like a last I wouldn't say last resort, but that's a tragic accident you don't want to have happen to begin with, especially with one like this has never actually been worked on. So of course no one's fooled around with the hairspring except for me. And for some reason I can't find the date code on this particular movement, so either it doesn't have one or I haven't seen it. And with that, this thing has probably never been disturbed ever in its entire 60 however long year runtime. That's why it's not working. Thankfully, whoever owned this previously didn't throw it out. I'm sure many of these wound up in the trash after they were, you know, out of service. Hairspring and balance wheel, there we go. Yeah, the more common of these is the brass variant. But this is made of aluminum. Or is it aluminum or steel? No, it's aluminum. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take a pair of pliers and pry that time-setting knob off. A nice flat blade screwdriver. This is a classic prying method from yours truly, and of course the plate somehow always gets bent in the... Well, you try not to bend the plate. Try not to do that right there. And this is slightly bent now. Great. I hate this stuff sometimes. Again, these clocks look so nice, but the darn, the way these are, the design is just, yeah, it's, the aluminum was a mistake. It absolutely was. And I'll try not to, while you're doing this, try not to rest your pliers on the actual pivots on the gear train. Try and go, like, from this way. Because you're going to be using that as, yeah. You're prying up on the... Come on. Yeah, it's not optimal. I still haven't figured out... Oh, jeepers creepers. We'll fix that later, but still, that's not what I want. Yeah, that is the last thing I want right there. Is this pivot hole getting all screwed up? Haven't figured out the best method for removing these knobs. That's my kind of gist there, I think. Maybe I'll try a bigger pair of pliers. The brass... Oh, that's too big. The brass ones don't bend like that. So it kind of makes it difficult to make a decision there. Oh, let's try this. Never used these before in this particular field. Let's not try and bend that way. Maybe I'll use a piece of steel or something with a hole in it. See if I can track one down. I wonder. Oh. Something like this will do what I need it to do. Or maybe not. I don't know if these were specifically designed with prying in mind, but I think you can't. Yeah, this is too big and clunky to... This feels too big and clunky to really get in there and do what... Yeah, no, that's not going to work either. Okay. Again, this is the same sort of needle nose stuff I had earlier. I'm gonna try it again. I was trying to twist, oh shit. Maybe that's why the plate is bending in such a weird fashion, is because I keep trying to twist the knot, or the whole, not the shaft, or the whole, yeah, okay. Let's try and bend that back into shape. I use that as sort of a prying method, but I don't know how great of a method that truly is. Yeah, that's not great. I'll have to fix that later. Oh, jeepers. Yeah. Try not to ruin the pivot hole. Again, it's really soft metal, so it's hard not to. Because I'm using tools made of steel, maybe that's my entire problem. I'm trying to pry in a fashion where I'm not ruining parts of this. Again, these knobs are just in my way. If I don't remove them now, I'm gonna remove them later. Okay, you know what? We're gonna take another approach to this. We're gonna add a bit of heat here. We're gonna use. I think a blowtorch is probably overkill, isn't it? I'm gonna give it just a little bit of, or maybe it isn't. I don't usually do stuff like this, but this is not. That is not moving. And I wonder if that'll have any impact on any of this. Or we'll just ruin it more. That's also a possibility. Chip the metal off or something stupid like that'll happen. Maybe I'm not heating evenly enough across the entire knob. Of course, you don't want to rip the shaft clean off, like break the whole shaft off. Jeepers creepers. Yeah, these late ones can be kind of rough to work on. I'll try and straighten all this out later. Okay. Let's see what we can come up with now. Smells like hot brass in here. Okay. No. These things do come off, but that one is really, really tight. Maybe I should try. Maybe I should try with a different tool, a different prying tool here. I think I've got a proper pry bar I can use. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's give this a shot. We'll use different pliers as well. Oh, that's too big. Or not. Oh! That's closer, kind of. Oh, crap. Okay, well, I don't know what you just saw or heard, but we just did exactly what I said I didn't want to do, and that was snap that off completely. Thankfully, I have replacements. I have a full replacement, like this entire wheel. I have another one of with the knob on it in my parts drawer. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Note to self: never use heat on one of these again, because you screw stuff up. Let's see here. Okay. I gotta get that spring down now too, because this thing is all. Oh man. Okay. I might have to invest in some proper knob pullers here or something. I haven't found any good tools. Do you guys know of any? Okay, we're gonna use this old method here of just very gently backing this screw off and trying to. Thank goodness. Again, this is why you remove the hairspring and balance wheel, right? You don't want to get sucked in this. You don't want them sucked into this. And again, wear gloves because this is old sharp metal. Okay. I'm trying to get that paddle fork to get higher without completely bending the pivot out of shape. Or bending the the wire out of shape, sorry. Come on. I'm leaving that, you know, I actually debated just completely stopping the whole video here now, but I think it's important that you guys see stuff like this. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I don't want to loosen up all the... Okay. What the heck happened back there? Something's loosening up somewhere. Or something's letting down... Something's getting let down someplace. Yeah, that whole shaft probably can't... This whole wheel is completely ruined now. That whole rod is snapped, so I can't use the darn thing. Great. Okay, let's take what we can out of this and whoa, okay. Whoa. Yeah. Completely derailed the whole series here, but what do we scrap? We sound like we're scraping up against something, and I really don't like that sound that it's making, because it's probably possibly scratching or damaging another piece of this. I wonder if that wheel's getting abused to heck now. Okay. If I just position that straight, I can get all the power down more or less. Try and straighten that wheel. Okay. We're unwinding it. Or it's unwinding. Okay, it's down. Okay, let's move on with our lives then. Let's keep going. Let's just keep on going. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna salvage this whole project, hopefully. Okay, so abandoning heat completely, we're gonna use a different method for prying this off. We're gonna use a classic method that I've tried on this movement before, and it looks something like that. That knob almost went in my hair. It shot off so high that it, yeah. Maybe, see, the thing is, this is such an awkward spot to kind of pry on. And in case, okay, the spring is in there somewhere. There's a washer, a double D-shaped washer. Oh, yeah, there, okay. There it is right in there. That needs to come off. Which we can just kind of pull it through. And, you know, there it is. Okay, there she is. Okay, now all our knobs are off or snapped off. And I wonder if the broken knob can actually be salvaged. If I take a vice grip or something and get the knob in the... This piece may actually be salvageable still. That's such a shame that had to happen the way it did, though. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're gonna... Again, we have replacements for that. So, okay, how do we get the lesson here is how do we get the knob off then? The time setting knob. Well, don't use heat and find a knob puller of some kind, or if you don't have that like I do, you may have to experiment a bit with pliers and kind of doing that what I was doing with the screwdriver. Even if it wasn't working, yeah, that's okay. We're never using. I think now that I'm taking a second to just analyze this whole problem that's happened here, because these wheels are made of Babbitt metal, that is just, you know, that it's not agreeing with the heat. Okay, there we go. And we already know what order all the gears go in and everything, so we can just pull this all apart. Yeah, we'll fix this whole thing up. And we'll use parts from a previous repair. We'll use parts from another movement that I have lying around. It was actually my first aluminum 66 that I ever worked on, and it's... long story short, I figured out what the problem was with it, but it was kind of too little too late. Other damage had occurred to the movement before I could really well, I fixed the problem, but, you know, there were other problems because of me trying to fix the first problem, so. Okay, well, anyway, I decided to just part the whole thing out because I was making a mess of it. And it wasn't going to work the way it all went, the way it all played out. Things just weren't going to work, so. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to fix this up. Let's get a pair of pliers here and straighten this all out. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. So first off, I'm just squeezing it a little bit. But also, there's methods like this I can... hold on, I got a better idea. I have a block of solid steel. Where is it? Shoot. Where did that steel block go? I have to find it. To get up and find it. And I'm not finding it. Terrific. Okay. Well, since something I was going to use is making itself scarce right now, all the pliers are going everywhere, or all the tweezers. Sorry. We're gonna get all this out of here. This whole wheel is ruined now, unfortunately, because I've just snapped that whole piece off of there. Oh well. At least that's a fairly common part, and you know what? I think I can actually replace that with even the older versions of that particular wheel. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, I had a steel block that kind of fit perfectly under this piece here, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to find it at the moment. Okay. Whoops, as I dropped the camera. Okay. Okay, I'll try and track that, what I was looking for, down later. Putting a steel block in there and using that as an anvil and then hammering on that piece would straighten that out nice, but it's not going to be terrible as is. I'm going to go grab my parts movement and we're going to get all this apart, but that is, yeah, we'll call this particular part here. And we'll reconvene at the next one and clean this all up, put the movement back together, and get ourselves straightened around here. And that should be that, hopefully. Hopefully it'll run, and yeah, but of course I'm speaking too soon, I think. So let's get this all, hold on. Where's my... Okay, never mind. Sorry, guys. We'll leave it here for now. We'll get this out of here in the next part and continue on from there. So, yep. Thank you, guys.